Have you ever stopped and wondered, what if the things making you tired, dizzy, or forgetful aren't outside your body, but inside your home? Right there in plain sight, and you've been living with them for years. It's a strange thing. We spend most of our time at home in our golden years. We trust the walls that surround us. We find comfort in the routine, the same chair, the same cup, the same kitchen. But what if I told you that some of the items you use every day, those familiar things, could be quietly making you sick? I didn't always think this way. For most of my life, I didn't question the objects in my home. Why would I? I had the same coffee pot for 20 years, the same pillow for 10, the same rug in the hallway since my daughter was in middle school. I figured if something wasn't broken, there was no reason to change it. Then came the fatigue, the morning cough, the brain fog that made my thoughts feel like molasses. I chalked it up to aging. Just one of those things, right? But then I visited my cousin Helen. Helen's 76, lives 2 states over, and she's sharp as a tack. Still goes dancing every Thursday, still bakes pies from scratch. I hadn't seen her in over a year. When I stepped into her home, it felt different. Lighter, cleaner. Not just in smell or style, something about the air, the way it felt to breathe. I joked about it, said, "What's your secret, Helen? You got some fancy air filter in here." She smiled and said, "Nope. I just started paying attention to what I let live in my house." That conversation changed everything for me. I went home and started looking, really looking, at the items I'd surrounded myself with. And what I found shocked me. Today, I want to share with you what I discovered, because these things might be in your home too. They're ordinary, overlooked, and often decades old. But if you're over 70 like me, they could be making a real difference in how you feel every day. Let's start with the one that hit me hardest, the pillow you sleep on every night. Now I'll admit, my pillow and I had history. I got it after my wife passed. It was soft, broken in, and comforted me when the nights felt long. I never thought twice about it. But did you know that after just 2 years, a pillow can double its weight from dust mites, sweat, and dead skin? I didn't believe it either, but I looked it up. And then I looked at my pillow under sunlight, and it was like a snow globe of particles. I had been inhaling that mess every night for nearly a decade. What's worse, those dust mites. They can trigger allergies, breathing trouble, and even skin rashes. For folks our age, when the immune system isn't what it used to be, that's a dangerous combo. I bought a new pillow. A simple one, hypoallergenic, nothing fancy. Within a week, my morning cough had lessened. I started sleeping better. I even had dreams again. Sometimes all it takes is something as small as a pillow. The non-stick pan you use every morning. Every morning for years, I'd make eggs in my old non-stick skillet. The same one we got back in the early 90s. It never stuck. I loved that thing. But here's the problem, many of those older non-stick pans were made with something called Teflon. And when they get scratched or overheated, they release chemicals that have been linked to cancer, thyroid problems, and even liver damage. I didn't know that until I saw a news special. Then I looked at my pan closely and saw the scratches, tiny flakes coming off into the food. It made my stomach turn. I tossed it out the same day. Now I use a cast iron skillet. Sure, it takes a bit more effort to clean, but I feel safer knowing I'm not ingesting mystery chemicals with my scrambled eggs. And for anyone watching, if your pan is scratched, or if you've had it longer than 5 years, it might be time to consider a replacement. Air fresheners and scented candles. This one hurt a little. I always liked a good smell in the house. Reminded me of when my wife used to light candles after dinner. That cinnamon vanilla scent was like a warm hug. So I kept it going, bought the plug-in air fresheners, stocked up on candles from the grocery store. But those smells come at a cost. Many air fresheners and candles contain chemicals called VOCs, volatile organic compounds. Sounds fancy, right? But they can cause headaches, nausea, and even mess with your hormones. Some have even been linked to respiratory issues and memory problems. And here I was, filling my home with them every single day. I didn't stop making the house smell nice. I just changed how I did it. Now I open windows during the day. I simmer cinnamon sticks in a pot of water with orange peels. I bought an oil diffuser and use pure essential oils. Lavender, lemon, eucalyptus. It's cleaner, it's safer, and it still smells like home. Before I go on, if you've been finding this helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Here at Glowing Age, we're all about helping you live healthier, happier, and longer. And your support helps us reach more folks like you. Let's keep going. Plastic food containers, especially the old ones. If your fridge looks anything like mine used to, you probably have a drawer full of old plastic containers. Some are stained with spaghetti sauce. Some have mismatched lids, and most of them have been around since the Reagan administration. Here's the problem. Many of those older plastics contain something called BPA, a chemical that can leach into food, especially when heated. Even microwave-safe plastics can release tiny particles over time. BPA has been linked to hormone disruption, memory issues, and even increased risk of heart disease. For seniors, that's not a risk we want to take. I did a plastic purge. Anything old, cloudy, stained, or unmarked went in the trash. I replaced them with a small set of glass containers with airtight lids. They're heavier, sure, but they don't leach. They last longer. And food tastes better in them. Your favorite rug. Now I know some rugs are family treasures. Heirlooms, memories woven into fabric. I had one in the hallway that I used to call my midnight walk rug. I'd step on it every time I got up for water in the night. But rugs, especially old ones, are magnets for dust, mold, pet dander, and bacteria. Even if you vacuum them weekly, they hold onto years of grime. And if you've ever tripped on a corner or slid on a slick surface, you know how dangerous they can be too. I had a fall scare last year. My toe caught on the rug's edge. Thankfully, I caught myself. But it was a wake-up call. That rug may have held memories, but it also held risks. I rolled it up, thanked it for its service, and replaced it with a low-pile, non-slip version. It's safer, cleaner, and still feels soft under my feet. That's the first 5. Surprised yet? I know I was. When you live with something for years, it becomes invisible. You stop seeing it. You stop questioning it. But these everyday items, our pillows, our pans, our candles, even the floor beneath our feet, can either support our health or slowly chip away at it. And here's what I learned the hard way. You don't have to wait for something to break before you change it. Sometimes prevention is the wisest kind of medicine. You've made it this far with me, and I'm grateful for your time. In the next part, I'll share the rest of the list. Items you may not even think twice about that could be silently affecting your memory, your breathing, and even your heart. Stick with me. We're just getting to the good part. You'd be surprised how many of the things we think are harmless can become risky with age. I used to believe that if something hadn't caused me harm yet, it probably never would. But the truth is, time has a way of changing everything, including how our bodies react to the world around us. And that brings me to the 6th everyday item I want to talk about. You might not expect this one. I sure didn't. 6. Cleaning products under your sink. For decades, I used the same cleaning sprays, powders, and polishes. If it smelled strong, I figured it was doing a good job. I liked the lemon-scented one for the counters and the blue liquid for the windows. The smell meant it was working, right? But strong smells don't always mean safe ingredients. A few years back, I started getting lightheaded after scrubbing the bathroom. Thought it was just standing up too fast. But one day, I was cleaning the tub and my eyes started to burn. My throat felt tight. I had to sit down on the toilet just to catch my breath. That's when I started reading labels. Bleach, ammonia, formaldehyde, chemicals I could barely pronounce, let alone understand. And most of them warned you to use in a well-ventilated area, which, let's face it, is hard to do in a tiny bathroom with one cranky window. I made a change. I threw out the harsh stuff. These days, I clean with white vinegar, baking soda, and a little lemon juice. It works surprisingly well. For tougher spots, I use a store-bought cleaner that's labeled non-toxic and fragrance-free. I haven't had a dizzy spell while cleaning since. And if you're still using those same strong cleaners from years ago, maybe it's time to reconsider. 7. Your mattress. We don't think much about our mattress. We cover it up with sheets. We lie down, close our eyes, and expect it to take care of us through the night. But here's something most folks don't realize. A mattress gets heavier over time. Not just from age, but from everything it absorbs. Sweat, skin flakes, dust, and those same dust mites we talked about with the pillow. They love mattresses even more. I had been sleeping on the same mattress for almost 14 years. It sagged in the middle. It creaked when I turned. And every morning I woke up stiff. I blamed it on arthritis. But one day my back pain got so bad I couldn't get out of bed without leaning on the nightstand. My daughter took me mattress shopping that weekend. We found one designed for seniors, firmer in the middle for back support, softer at the edges. The first night I slept on it, I woke up feeling rested. It was the first time in months. If your mattress is older than 8 or 10 years, it's worth thinking about. You deserve a good night's sleep, and your body needs it even more as you age. 8 old paint or varnished furniture. This one surprised me. I have an old chest of drawers from my parents' house. Beautiful thing. Oak with brass handles and a sweet smell when you open the top drawer. But that smell? Turns out it wasn't so sweet after all. Older furniture, especially from before 1978, can contain lead paint or varnishes that release formaldehyde and other toxic fumes over time. When you close the drawer, it builds up. When you open it, you breathe it in. Now, I'm not saying you need to get rid of every old piece of furniture, but if you notice a strong chemical smell or if the paint is chipping, it's worth testing. They sell lead test kits at most hardware stores. And if you want to be safe, you can seal furniture with a non-toxic, clear coat that traps any dangerous particles inside. I still have that chest of drawers, but now it's sealed and it doesn't smell anymore. It's just as lovely and a whole lot safer. 9. Fluorescent or CFL light bulbs. Remember when those curly CFL bulbs came out? They were supposed to save energy, last longer, and be better for the environment. So I bought a bunch of them, replaced every bulb in the house, felt proud of myself for going green. Then I started getting headaches. My eyes would ache by bedtime. I blamed it on too much TV. But one evening, my grandson came over and asked why my lights were flickering. I hadn't even noticed. Turns out, some CFLs and older fluorescents emit a flicker that's hard for older eyes to process. They can also give off a faint buzzing noise and small amounts of UV light. And if one breaks, you're dealing with mercury vapor. These days, I use LED bulbs. No flicker, no buzz, no mercury, and they're easy on the eyes. Plus, they come in warmer tones that make the house feel cozy. It's a simple swap. But for someone with aging eyes, it makes a world of difference. A final word for today. Now that we've walked through all 9 of these everyday items, I hope you're starting to see your home in a new light. Not with fear, but with awareness, because awareness gives us choices. I made these changes slowly. 1 week it was the pillow. A month later, the cleaning supplies. Each little step added up to something bigger, better sleep, easier breathing, fewer aches, and a clearer mind. You don't need to fix everything overnight. But maybe today you walk around your home and notice one thing you hadn't before. One item that's outstayed its welcome. Change it, replace it, clean it, whatever feels right. Because you deserve to feel good. Not just sometimes, but every day. And if this helped you, share it with a friend. Maybe your sister, your neighbor, or someone from your church group could use a little reminder too. Take care of yourself. You've earned it. You know, once I started seeing my home through a different lens, I couldn't stop. It was like someone had handed me a flashlight and said, "Look again." And I started finding things I'd never thought twice about before. But here's what I want to tell you. This journey isn't about fear. It's about peace. It's about having the power to say, I deserve to feel good in my own home. And sometimes that starts with the smallest changes. So what happens next? After we've dealt with the obvious suspects, the pillow, the mattress, the cleaning sprays, what do? We go deeper. We look at our habits, our routines, and the things we hold on to not because they serve us, but because they've always been there. Let me tell you a little story about my friend Harold. Harold's 82, lives down the road, big reader. He's got books in every room, stacked up like towers. I went to visit him one afternoon, and I noticed he had one of those old electric space heaters right next to his recliner. It was humming away, blowing hot air on his legs. Said it helped with the arthritis. But that thing was ancient, probably older than his dog, and Sparky's been around since the Bush presidency. I asked him if it ever sparked or smelled funny. He shrugged. Only when I first plug it in. I didn't want to scare him, but I told him the truth. Older appliances, especially ones with frayed cords or exposed wires, are a serious fire risk, and they can put out fumes you don't want to be breathing in. We found a newer model online, one with an automatic shutoff, no exposed coils, and tip-over protection. It arrived 2 days later. He called me that night and said, "You know what? It's warmer than the old one, and I don't have to worry about burning down the house in my sleep." Pay attention to your small electronics. If it hums, buzzes, or throws off a smell when you turn it on, especially if it's over 10 years old, it might be time for an upgrade. Next, let's talk about your medicine cabinet. I had one of those plastic caddies in my bathroom. Little drawers filled to the brim with pills, creams, and ointments I hadn't touched in years. Some expired in 2013. I'm not proud of that. Expired medications can lose their potency, or worse, become harmful. And mixing the wrong pills can lead to dizziness, memory problems, and stomach issues. One Sunday afternoon, I laid out every bottle on the kitchen table. With a trash bag in one hand and my reading glasses in the other, I checked each label, each date, and each purpose. Some I didn't even remember getting. I kept only the essentials: blood pressure meds, a mild pain reliever, a few herbal supplements I take for joints. Everything else, out it went. It's a good habit to clean out your medicine cabinet once a year. And when in doubt, ask your doctor or pharmacist. Another thing I never considered: your shoes. We get so used to wearing the same pair every day, the ones that slip on easy. Maybe they're soft, broken in, familiar, but how do they treat your feet? I wore an old pair of loafers for nearly 8 years. Didn't think much of it, they still fit. But then my knees started aching. My balance felt off. I nearly took a tumble getting the mail one morning. My doctor told me something I'll never forget: the wrong shoes can age your joints faster than time. That week, I got fitted for orthopedic walking shoes. Took a few tries to find the right pair, but the difference was night and day. My gait improved. My pain eased. I even walked a mile around the block without needing to stop. Don't underestimate the power of good shoes. Your whole body depends on them, and while we're on the topic of support, check your favorite chair. We all have one. Mine was a brown recliner by the TV, sat in it every evening for hours. It knew the shape of my body. But what I didn't realize was how little support it gave. My hips sank. My lower back curved. Over time, I developed sciatica. I switched to a firmer, ergonomic chair with lumbar support. Took some getting used to, but now I can sit comfortably without my legs going numb. Sometimes, comfort isn't about softness. It's about support. You see, aging doesn't mean giving up comfort. It just means redefining it. Trading what used to work for what works now. And there's strength in that. So today, I'd ask you to walk around your home again, not with fear, but with curiosity. Look at what's helping you and what might be holding you back. Ask yourself, is this still serving me? The answer might surprise you. And if you're enjoying these stories, or if something here spoke to you, I'd love it if you gave Glowing Age a like and subscribed. We're building something special here, a space for wisdom, growth, and a life well lived. Stick around, there's more to come. You've come with me this far, and that means something. It tells me you care, not just about surviving, but about thriving. About living the years you've earned with clarity, energy, and purpose. And I respect that more than words can say. Now, there's one more place in your home that we haven't talked about yet. A space we visit multiple times a day. A place where comfort should be sacred, but danger can quietly creep in if we're not paying attention. The bathroom. Let me take you back a few winters ago. It was January, cold enough to freeze the inside of your nose. I got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. I didn't turn the lights on, didn't want to wake myself up too much. But the tile floor was wet. Maybe from the shower earlier, maybe from condensation, doesn't matter. What matters is that my heels slipped. I grabbed the towel bar, but it snapped clean off the wall. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground, staring up at the ceiling. I lay there for almost 10 minutes before I could get up. No broken bones, but I bruised my tailbone and scared myself half to death. That morning, I made a promise to myself: never again. Here's what I changed. I installed grab bars in the shower and next to the toilet, not the kind that stick on with suction. Real metal ones drilled into the studs. They don't look fancy, but they hold my weight, and they've kept me steady more times than I can count. I also got a non-slip mat for the tub and a padded bath mat outside it, one that stays in place. No curling corners, no sliding. And I switched out the old towel bar for a proper safety rail. It doesn't look like much, but it saved me from a fall just last month when my knee gave out. If your bathroom doesn't feel safe, change it. It's not about pride, it's about prevention. And prevention is a gift you give your future self. Now let's talk about lighting. I know I already mentioned switching out fluorescent bulbs, but I want to take that a step further. Our eyes change as we age. We need more light to see clearly. And shadows, especially in the evening, can trick the brain and throw off our balance. So I added small night lights in every room, motion sensor ones in the hallway, a soft lamp by the bed, a brighter bulb in the kitchen. No more stubbing my toe on the way to the fridge. No more squinting at the thermostat or the pill organizer. It's not about turning your house into a stadium, it's about visibility. And visibility means confidence. And speaking of pill organizers, if you take medication, even just a couple of daily pills, don't rely on memory alone. I used to think I didn't need a pill box. I could remember everything. But then I started doubting myself. Did I take my morning dose? Or was that yesterday? I'd double up some days, skip others. Now I use a simple weekly organizer. One of those plastic ones with compartments for morning and evening. Takes me 5 minutes on Sunday to set it up. Saves me from confusion the rest of the week. If you want to get fancy, there are automatic dispensers out there that beep or light up when it's time. But the basic ones work just fine. Another thing that matters, clean air. You'd think living in a clean house that the air would be fine. But we close the windows more these days. We use heaters, air conditioners, humidifiers, dust builds up, pet dander lingers, mold can grow in places we don't see. I bought a small air purifier last year. Nothing huge, just a tabletop unit with a HEPA filter. I keep it in the bedroom during the day and move it to the living room at night. Within a week, my sinuses felt better. I stopped waking up congested. Breathing is something we take for granted until it becomes hard. Don't wait until then. Let's not forget about hydration. You might not think this fits into the category of home hazards, but let me tell you, it does. As we age, our thirst signals get weaker. We don't feel thirsty the way we used to. And dehydration can sneak up on you, headaches, fatigue, dizziness, even confusion. What helped me was placing water within reach. A small pitcher by the bed, a glass next to the recliner, a bottle in the car. Visual reminders to take a sip here and there. It's simple, it works, and it keeps everything else in your body running smoother. Now, if you're still with me, you might be thinking this all sounds like a lot. But here's what I've learned. Small adjustments done slowly make the biggest difference. It's like tuning an old radio. Each little dial brings you closer to clarity. And once it's tuned just right, the music comes through clean, strong, beautiful. That's what I want for you. Not just to survive in your home, but to thrive in it. To feel steady on your feet, clear in your mind, calm in your heart. And if you're finding value in this journey, if even one idea helped you today, then I'd be honored if you'd like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing, sharing the lessons I've lived so you can live better. There's still more ahead. So take a deep breath, take a sip of water, and get ready for the final part. Let me leave you with something I believe deeply. Our homes should be our sanctuaries, not just places to rest, but places that restore us. And yet, over time, it's easy to let our homes become cluttered, not just with things, but with habits, assumptions, and outdated choices that no longer serve us. The good news is we can change that. We can choose differently, at any age. I've talked a lot about objects in these last few stories, pillows, rugs, cleaning products. But today, I want to talk about something even more powerful. Something you can't buy at the store, your mindset. As I got older, I caught myself saying things like, "Well, that's just how it is now," or "I'm too old to worry about that." Maybe you've said something similar, but here's the truth. You're never too old to care about your health. You're never too old to upgrade your surroundings. And you're certainly never too old to choose a better way. The act of questioning what we've always done, that's what keeps us growing. That's what keeps us sharp. And when we care enough to ask, is this helping me or hurting me? We give ourselves the power to make real change. And listen, not everything needs to be fixed today. No one's asking you to throw out half your house or buy new furniture overnight. Just pick one thing. Maybe today you walk into your kitchen and finally replace that old cracked plastic container. Maybe you move that slippery rug by the door. Maybe you buy a new pair of shoes that support your stride. Whatever it is, take that one small step. Not because you have to, but because you deserve to. Now, here's a bit of truth I wish someone had told me when I was younger. Aging isn't about decline. It's about refinement. It's about tuning in closer to what matters and letting go of what doesn't. And your environment, the space you live in every day, plays a bigger role than most people realize. It shapes your comfort, your clarity, your energy, your peace. When you make your home safer, cleaner, and more aligned with your needs, you aren't just preventing problems. You're building a foundation for joy, for ease, for the kind of life you've earned through all the years you've lived. And if you've made it to this point in the video, then I want to say something clearly. I'm proud of you. Not everyone takes the time to learn. Not everyone reflects or adapts or even considers that change is possible. But you did. You showed up. You listened. You thought. Maybe you even made a list of things to check around your house. That tells me you're still growing, still investing in yourself, and that's beautiful. Before I go, I want to invite you to do 3 things. First, share this video with someone you care about. A sibling, a neighbor, someone who might be living with the same hidden hazards and just hasn't seen them yet. Second, leave a comment below and tell me, which of these 9 things surprised you the most? Or which change are you planning to make first? And third, subscribe to Glowing Age. This isn't just a channel, it's a community. A place where wisdom isn't just respected, it's celebrated. Together, we're building something real. A space for seniors who want to feel empowered, not ignored. Informed, not overwhelmed. Supported, not forgotten. So thank you for your time, for your trust, and for sharing this journey with me. Remember, it's never too late to create a home that heals you. I'll see you in the next video.